Okay, so today I want to talk about buying and selling used musical instruments. Mostly like synthesizers or keyboards in general. So first off, you can buy used a few different ways. You can either buy on eBay, Craigslist, Reverb, some musical instrument stores. Now here's the thing, I'm going to explain the difference between each one. When you buy from musical instrument stores, the prices are usually higher, the warranties are usually shorter, and the shipping is usually more expensive. The one exception I've found is Sam Ash. Sam Ash, their shipping is really cheap, but the catch is they almost never have any keyboards or synths. It's very rare that they have any. I would say they only have a couple at any given time. And you really have to watch them to see when they get a good deal, and then you have to grab it quick. Because I got my Korg Poly 800 from them pretty cheap. But as a rule of thumb, I usually stay away from them. I mean, if you can go to a local music go-round, you might be able to get a good deal, but if you try to order from one, you're going to end up paying like way too much for shipping, so it's not worth it. Now to places like eBay. eBay is good as in it's the cheapest place you will get things online shipped to you, but there's always the catch of sellers not telling you everything wrong, because there's a lot less reputable people selling on eBay compared to, say, Reverb. So you're always taking a bigger chance. And nowadays, the eBay prices have really caught up to Reverb, so it's not really worth that risk anymore. Unless you can find a really good deal. I generally avoid eBay, and I've only bought cheap keyboards on there for modifying. Any good stuff, I don't. Now we get to Craigslist. Watch out on Craigslist, because there's I don't know about where you live, but where I live there are tons of scammers. Not only just the people who want to scam you out of your money, but people who want to trick you, get you somewhere very dangerous and out of the way of the cops so they can rob you or steal your gear. So be very careful when buying and selling on Craigslist. Don't ever meet at your house. Do not let them know where you live. Do not. It doesn't matter. You can live in the richest, nicest area. You can live in Key West. Even a rich guy can rob you. Just don't do it. So, meet at a safe location. The best place, honestly, to meet is like the front of a police station. That's kind of weird, but it's the safest place. And anybody who has ulterior motives will run from that, and then you'll know. Like I had a guy. This is funny. He wanted to buy a little toy I had, like from when I was a kid. I was selling it, and he was fine to meet, but he wanted to meet at my place. And right before he was about to come, I told him, "Oh, let's meet somewhere safe." And I gave him a location. He says, "Oh, you know what? I can't come now. I'm not gonna get it." See, he was planning something. Either he was gonna rob me, or scope out my house, or whatever. And his name was so fake. I'm not even gonna say it, but the name was so fake that I knew right away, okay, this guy's not legit. So stay away from all the scams. Be very careful on Craigslist. You might get the deal of the century, but usually there's people who scope that out that will scoop up those deals before you get them, usually, if you live in a major city like I do. If you live out in the country, you might get more lucky. But if you're in a major city, Craigslist, I'd kind of stay away from it and be very cautious. Now we get down to Reverb. Reverb, people say, oh, things are too high. Not really. If you watch stuff, people will get, impatient and want to sell. You'll actually get pretty good deals. And you can actually talk to the sellers on there, because there's a lot more musicians on there than places like eBay. And you can get better deals if you just negotiate a price. So what you need to do is, say you see, let's just say a Korg monologue, because I just sold one of those. And it sold so quick, you know why? It's because I made it the cheapest. That's one thing you want to do, but we'll get to selling later. When you're buying, when you make an offer that's reasonable, not too crazy. Say something's $200, don't offer them 100 because they're just going to laugh at you and they might just decline you. Now, offer them something reasonable. Let's say you can try 175. They might say no, that's not enough. Then you can counter at 180. Then they might counter at 185. Then boom, sold 185. They made a sale. You feel good because you got the price lower. Everyone wins. Also, when you buy, descriptions. The bigger, the longer the description, the better. But be aware of descriptions that are just copy and paste from like review magazines. You don't want a review as the description. Stay away from those. You want a review that tells you everything about that particular keyboard and its condition. If they say things like, this is 100% working guaranteed, that's great. That's what you want. Now if they say, oh, it's in great condition, okay. But then when you buy it, oh yeah, by the way, this one button is finicky. You have to press it down a lot. So what you want to do when you're buying is ask every question, every concern. If they won't respond to you or they think you're a jerk, ignore them. Go buy someone else. Someone else will gladly take your money. So yeah, best description you can get. Too short, not good. Copy and pasted description of the synth in general, not good. Look for weird wordings that can throw you off, that might make you think, Sometimes you'll see things like, I'm trying to think of a good example that I've actually had. Oh yeah, you'll see things like, last time I used this, it was working great. That's another red flag that they're going to try to say, oh, I haven't used it in a year. I didn't know this was broken, which is going to be broken. Stay away from all those weirdly worded things. You got to be very careful when you buy. You want the most perfect, best guarantee in a description you can get. Also, when you buy, this is going to seem rude, but it's really going to save you and the seller a hassle. Tell them to please package it good, because you've had times where things have came to you and broke, and then the seller has to take the loss on that. Explain to them how they're going to have to take the loss, and that if they use more padding and secure it better, even if they might have to use a slightly larger box and spend a little bit more on shipping, they're going to be much safer on having the item actually get to you than get broken in the shipment process. You do not want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. It's a headache for everybody. See what else I can think of. Also, when you're buying, don't jump on something. You might see something that pops out as a great deal, but well, this is kind of double-edged sword. You want to jump on a good deal, but you want to make sure everything's right first, as I said previously. So do your homework on something first before you jump in and buy it. So there's not really much to buying besides all that. It's selling that's more complicated. So let's get into the selling. Let's see if I need more water. Nope. Okay, into selling. Now, this applies, don't ever, never take your stuff to a musical instrument store. They'll give you nothing for it. Absolutely nothing. If you don't care about money, you just want to get rid of it, very few people are in that kind of situation, then you can do it. But don't. You'll lose so much money. It is not worth it. Never sell to a musical instrument store. Now, Craigslist, like I said about earlier, you can get scammed, you can get tricked. Be careful on there. Generally, you're going to have to sell stuff cheaper on Craigslist to get it sold. So, I've had not that much luck selling things on Craigslist. So, I wouldn't do it. Unless it's something very, very big that's going to be very hard for you to ship and expensive. Those things, I say try to sell on Craigslist first. Only those things. Like if you have like some 88 key keyboard that weighs like 80 pounds or something, try to sell that first on Craigslist. eBay. Now, eBay is another thing. Actually, never ever sell on eBay for any reason ever. Never. Even worse than the musical instrument stores. Because you're going to think, what? When you sell on eBay, eBay always sides with the buyer. If anything goes wrong, the seller is screwed. You are totally screwed if you're a seller on eBay and anything goes wrong. So never sell on eBay. Buying is okay. Now here's one more thing I'm going to touch on buying on eBay. This is very scummy, but you can use this to your advantage. On eBay, since they always side with the buyer, if a seller doesn't say something is wrong with something, say you get a keyboard and say, oh, it's a good keyboard, and you get it and one of the keys is broken, right? You can contact them, and then instead of them wanting to get a bad rating, they might work out something with you. Like, they might say, okay, I'll give you half your money back and you can keep it, which is cool. You get an instrument with just one broken key for half the price. Which, you know, if they went to a tech, it'd cost them a lot to fix it, but still, it's a win-win. And also, if they're non-responsive, you can contact eBay and get your money back. And sometimes even keep the instrument. That's happened to me before. Alright, so now, this is the good part. Selling on Reverb. This is the only place I really sell, besides Craigslist sometimes. But this is the only place I sell because they treat the buyer and the seller equally. They'll hear both sides of the story, but the real thing is I've just never had any trouble with any buyer or seller on a Reverb, ever. The people there are just generally better. Here's one thing I'll tell you as a seller. If someone makes you an offer that's dumb, don't just laugh at them. Counter it. Even if they offer you, like say that chord monologue I was talking about earlier. Even if they offer you $100, don't just say, oh, that's stupid, I need more than that, blah, 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 blah. No, counter it with something logical. Because then, you know what? They might actually buy it. They might be giving you a low ball bid, but they still may be a serious buyer. They might just be testing the waters. And don't get angry quickly, because that could be a sale that you lost. Another thing is, I say, you know, make offer. Always have make offer on if you're willing to take a little bit less. If you're already going to sell something at the bottom line, then obviously you don't have to put it. But usually something will sell better if you have it higher and then make an offer. Unless you're actually going to be the cheapest thing. Like when I sold my chord monologue, I made sure it was the cheapest thing on Reverb. Now there's one little weird trick. Nobody does this. I do it sometimes. It's kind of cheeky. It can backfire, so be warned. But this is what I call the price trickle down effect. Make your keyboard the cheapest one, right? And then every, say, day or week, make it go down $1. Make it constant, where the people who are watching it keep seeing it go down $1, and they're like, what? What's going to happen is someone is going to panic and say, oh shoot, it's going down so cheap, someone's going to buy it. And then someone's going to buy it. But sometimes no one will, and then you'll have lowered it $20, and then no one bought it. So yeah. But anyways, that's about buying and selling. See if there's anything I missed on here. Oh yeah, well, like I said earlier, but when you sell, make sure you wrap it the best you can. Wrap it so good. 10 times. Wrap it as much as you can, and even put it in a bigger box, and then add even more wrapping and more foam. You're going to be glad you did. You might spend $10 extra in shipping, but you're never going to have anything arrive broken to your seller. To your buyer. It's worth it. You won't even need the insurance. Well, packages get stolen, but you won't even need the insurance because you're never going to have a broken package. Let's see what else. What else is on the mind? Oh yeah, how did I forget the best part? When you sell on Reverb, if you make a demo video of your exact instrument that you are selling, it is so much likelier to sell and faster, because people are going to see that instrument in action and be like, wow, you know, that's it, it works. He's actually showing a video of it, so I know this is legit. So you're even more accredited, I added that extra "ited," but whatever, than the other sellers, because you're actually showing them what they want to buy and they're hearing it. Even if you're a garbage player, you can sequence something or try your best. Getting it out there is crucial. Now, what this applies to even more, way important. Okay, I'm just butchering English because I usually don't make these kind of videos, so I'm kind of a little bit nervous, to be honest. I'll get better over time with these, but anyways. If you're selling a custom instrument that you either built or have modified, say you built a synth or you circuit bended a synth or guitar pedal, you need to demo those. You have to demo those. You have to show people what that sounds like. No one's gonna buy a circuit bent instrument that someone says, oh, it sounds cool, makes crazy noises. Okay, but let me see. And do not post, oh, here's someone that did something similar. No. Or do not post, oh, here's one I made in the past. No. Post of that exact one. And make sure they can know that that is the actual one in the video that you are selling. When that happens, it'll sell so much faster, and honestly, you can sell it for more. I've seen some circuit bent drum machines, keyboards that pretty cool, but there wasn't a video of, and they just never sold, and the guy ended up dropping it down to like 1/3 the price, and it still hasn't sold. The reason it hasn't sold is because he didn't add a video to it. It's plain and simple. Because I'll tell you this, I made a very simple circuit bent keyboard. It was actually the very first one I did, or the first like higher end, not higher end, medium end one that I modified. I only put 2 bends in them, although I made them 2 bends that worked very well and they did a lot to the instrument. But I ended up selling that thing for, let's think here, the price it originally cost me, let's see, 10 times, I sold it for about 15 times more than I paid for it. 15 times. Plus the shipping of it was, I got even more money. Now, here's another thing. You want to overestimate your shipping because you do not want to take a big loss if you make the shipping only 20 bucks and it ends up costing you 60. You don't want that. Overestimate, not too much. Overestimate where it makes sense, but because eventually you'll get it down and you'll know what the shipping's going to be. You'll get a knack for it. If someone contacts you and say, hey, your shipping's kind of hard, kind of high, can you lower it? Don't just say okay or don't just say no. What you need to do is say, okay, well, where is it going to be shipped to? And I can work out a shipping cost and I might be able to lower it. You want to work with your sellers and buyers because it's a win-win for everybody when the deal is made. Let's see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, duh. If any of you know anything about stock markets, you know that prices fluctuate up and down. Study the price of your synth or keyboard that you're buying or selling and watch the market. Watch it over the course of years if it's been out for that long. Newer ones is going to be kind of harder, but let's say if it's been out since, 10 years. Watch the market and you'll see the times of year that certain instruments dip and that they rise. Buy them when they're at their cheapest and sell them when they're at their highest. Just like a stock. Well, if there's anything I forgot in this video, I'm sorry. I might make an update one day. I might not. I thank you for watching, and I hope any of you, if just one of y'all find this useful, that's good enough for me. I'm kind of above saying to like and comment on this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a professional to say it for me because I have too much pride to say that. So thank you for watching, and until next time.
Thank you for watching the video. Please share this with all of your friends and fellow synth nerds. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and remember to subscribe for future content. Hit that notification bell to never miss a video. Be safe everyone, and always remember that Tunak Tunak Tun is the best song ever.